Welcome to Native Talk Arizona, presented by Native Health and KRDP 90.7 FM. Later in the show, we'll learn about IndigiWellbeing with Dr. Cordova-Marks and William Carson. We'll chat with Alisha Hubbell, owner of Loveabell Studio. But first, host Alisha Powati talks with Samantha Honani, current Hopi Foundation Program Director and Interim KUYI Hopi radio station manager.
I'm host Alisha Powati. On the phone with me is Samantha Honani, current Hopi Foundation Program Director and Interim KUYI Hopi radio station manager. Hello, Samantha. It's an honor to have you on our show today.
Hello. I'm really happy to be here. Thank you.
And please kick things off for us with an introduction to yourself and your story.
Hello, everyone. I'm Samantha Honani, ne pakwa manayan Hopi matiwa ne pipongwa satoa. My Hopi name is Frog Girl, and I belong to the tobacco clan of First Mesa village Atewa. And I'm currently the program director for the Hopi Foundation, as well as serving as the KUYI Hopi radio station manager, as we have that position actually open. I've been working for this organization for well over 11 years now.
Oh, wow, that's amazing, and it's a pleasure to have you today. Samantha, can you tell us about the Hopi Foundation and the different programs you offer?
The Hopi Foundation is actually in its 35 years of being a service to the Hopi community. And the work that we do there is centered around our mission, which is Lomasamit ng Tuksiomani, which is doing the work ourselves. And what that really means is the community receives resources and support from our Hopi tribal government and federal services in our community. However, there are gaps in which the Hopi Foundation works to fill. As for example, we have a Hopi Substance Abuse Prevention Center that provides mentoring for individuals in recovery. And we have a specialized program that focuses on the needs of Hopi agriculture, which is a large part of who we are as the Hopi people. And so the work that we do is really driven by community need. And so one of the key things that we are able to do is really listen to our community and draw unique programming around their needs.
Oh, wow, that's great. Thank you for sharing that, Samantha. Now, can you tell us more about the KUYI 88.1 FM Hopi Radio?
Sure. So KUYI Hopi Radio has been born out of, again, a need for broad broadcasting of information, whether it's public safety, emergencies, or just updating our community, as well as providing entertainment unique to the listeners of Hopi. So individuals had worked very diligently in the years leading up to them going on air, which was December 20th, 2000, actually, December 20th, 2000. So we're approaching a birthday year. And the Hopi Foundation serves as its licensee, so with their 501c3 status. And so the Hopi radio station has seen its challenges. It's been a very small local radio station, but the heart is just huge because it's driven by volunteers and local community, our employees there. It's a small team, but like I said, with our volunteers and our team, it's been really, large on driving the work to really bring local content and music to the radio.
And can you tell us some more about your role or your interim role as the radio station manager?
Sure. So my role right now is to really help to sustain the program itself. Um, Most recently, we have had the great opportunity to actually gather some funding to purchase a modular. The Hopi radio station has seen different home locations, station locations throughout the reservation, and there were temporary locations. We are actually still looking toward a more permanent home location. However, we are now in receipt of a modular, which is going to serve as the station. It's going to be our very own home, which we'll be able to move to a little bit more permanent location. But my role there was to gather the team and lead to creating the landslide, securing infrastructure for the building. And so we are hoping to go live in the first part of the year of 2023 in our new home. The other part that I do is to, help to manage our staff there, who are very hardworking. They really aim to bring quality content to the airwaves, and so it's not without its challenges. We have some radio equipment that definitely needs some upgrading, and so with the help of our marketing coordinator that helps to bring revenue through underwriting and paid PSAs, we are also looking to launch a capital campaign fundraiser, which will help us with the move, the second part of the move, which is really exciting. And we also, last, I think, point that I wanted to draw out is that community voice that we rely heavily on with our programming. And so for the radio station, we actually have what's called a community advisory board, which has individuals from the local community serving on. So we get to meet with them, and they help to guide and support our programming.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. And exciting news of getting your new space as well. Samantha, can you tell us what kind of programming do you provide?
Sure. So I think one of our most notable programming right now is in the morning time, starting at around 6 to about 10 o'clock is what we call Tatawi, and that is a very Hopi based program, which we tried to bring in local Hopi speakers, native speakers, and they play music that is Hopi or other Native American music. So that can be our social songs to, powwow music to, the different Native American artists out there, flute music. And so, again, we try to really uplift language speaking during that time. And so right now we have some really amazing volunteer DJs who actually speak the language and are able to incorporate that when they broadcast. So that's one of our most popular airtime programming right now. And a part of that, we also have weekly genre-based programming. So we have like a country hour and a rock hour, a reggae hour, because we all know Hopi loves reggae. So we have, very tailored programming like that. But also we partner with different worldwide broadcasters or programmers, which include the NPR radio, KUYI radio, not KUYI, NAU radio, and other worldwide programming like Undercurrents and so forth.
And how can someone listen to KUYI? Is there like a podcast where we could go back and watch or listen to previous shows?
Well, first off, you mentioned podcasts. I definitely want to highlight one of our sister programs under the Hopi Foundation, which is the Not Winnie Coalition, who has a podcast right now. It's called Hopi Farm Talk, and you can stream them on any listeners' stations out there like Spotify and Apple Music. But they it's called Hopi Farm Talk, and they highlight, interviews and discussions centered around agriculture and food. So I just wanted to plug them in there. But listeners can listen to KUYI Hopi Radio in real time on 88.1 FM or on our LP station, which is 89.1 FM. They can also stream anytime, 24 hours a day at www.kuyii.net.
And how do you want to bring health information and programming to KUYI?
I just wanted to share that, a lot of what we do and try to highlight right now as we're kind of in the recovery stages of the pandemic is that we really try to make sure that our listeners know that, music can improve a lot of our different health areas. It's been proven that music is actually a large part of our mental, emotional wellness. And so I think making sure that they also know things that practices to increasing their health around relaxation, inspiration, boosting their mood, and having music be an outlet to deal with, certain emotions or trials that they may be having. We try to bring that education and listener focus on the airwaves. What we want to just make sure that our community knows is that we're here, we're constant, we're reliable, and we want to ensure that there's a place for them to turn on a dial and hear any type of music or conversation that will help to uplift them.
And what programs and activities do you have planned for KUYI?
Well, like I mentioned earlier, I think our biggest activity is going to be a fundraising activity in the beginning of the year to continue to help us grow and move successfully into this new modular. And so we're actually kicking off a campaign which will help our donors and our sponsors, our supporters, to really have a hand in growing the radio station. And so a lot of that is a large portion of upgrading our equipment. So we are working with a brand new company and going digital. We have a lot of analog equipment. And so it's really exciting to see KUYI enter this new realm with the new times. It's really exciting because we are very small, we're very local, and we've been utilizing equipment that has sustained us this long, but is really outdated. And so that's really exciting for us. So getting our staff trained in this new equipment is another activity. KUYI will aim to really uplift our responsibility to our Hopi agricultural, ceremonial, and social cycle, our calendar, if you will. And that is really how we embed and align our programming to Hopi and what is going on in our community. So it's really important that we are inclusive and we are creating programming that it doesn't sway too far away from who we are as Hopi. Although we can be creative on how we bring new programming in, we always want to maintain our true, sincere, approach to being a community-based radio station.
And finally, how can our listeners learn more about the Hopi Foundation and KUYI Hopi Radio?
Both of us have our own websites. The HopiFoundation.org website has a really good resource to finding out more information about all our projects. Again, KUYI is a project of the Hopi Foundation, so we have direct links to all of our projects. But however, most of us do have our own website. So if you wanted to go directly to KUYI, you can visit KUYI.net.
Well, I would like to thank you, Samantha, for taking time out to talk to us today to tell us more about the Hopi Foundation and also the KUYI Hopi Radio.
Thank you for having me. It was my honor.
Coming up, we'll learn about IndigiWellbeing with Dr. Cordova-Marks and William Carson. Support for KRDP 90.7 FM comes in part from Native Health, with 2 locations in Phoenix, 4041 North Central Avenue, Building C, near the corner of Central Avenue and Indian School Road, and at 2423 West Dunlap Avenue. Native Health is also located in Mesa at 777 West Southern Avenue, near the corner of Southern and Extension Roads. Native Health provides primary medical, dental, behavioral health, WIC, and wellness services for the urban Native American community. For more information, call 602-279-5262 or visit our webpage at nativehealthphoenix.org.
Welcome back to Native Talk Arizona, presented by Native Health and KRDP 90.7 FM. I'm host Alisha Pawadi. Dr. Cordova-Marks is an assistant professor at the University of Arizona's College of Public Health and is also the director of IndigiWellbeing. And William Carson is currently a doctoral student at the University of Arizona College of Public Health and is the program coordinator for IndigiWellbeing. Hello, Dr. Cordova-Marks and William. It's an honor to have you both on our show today.
Hi, thank you so much for having us. We're very excited to be here.
So let's start things off with an introduction from the both of you. Can you tell us a little bit about yourselves?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Selena Cordova-Marks. I'm an assistant professor at the University of Arizona's College of Public Health in Health Promotion Sciences. I'm also the faculty lead for our Indigenous Health Certificate Program, Indigenous Initiatives at the College of Public Health. I'm a member of the Hopi tribe, and I'm originally from Flagstaff, Arizona.
And hello, my name is William Carson. I am a second-year doctoral student at the College of Public Health at the University of Arizona, getting my degree in Health Promotion Sciences, as well as Indigenous Peoples Law and Health Policy. And I am a member of Okewingé, formerly San Juan Pueblo.
Can you tell us more about the Indigenous programs offered at the University of Arizona?
So here at the College of Public Health, where Billy and I are both at, we have an Indigenous Health Certificate program, and we're also in the process of developing out some degrees in the area of Indigenous health. We have our IndigiWellbeing program, which we'll talk more about. At the College of Law, there's a Native Nations Institute and Indigenous Peoples Law and Policy program, which has January in Tucson coming up. It focuses on law, data governance, data sovereignty. There's also the U of A Native Lead program for undergraduates at the Wasaja Center in Family Community Medicine. There's also the Native SOAR program, which is a course for undergrad Native students on our main campus. We also have our American Indian Studies Department and NCATS, which is a program through the College of Nursing. And I'm sure that I'm leaving other programs out. We have quite a few programs here at the U of A.
And can you tell us about the IndigiWellbeing and its programs?
So IndigiWellbeing is focused on Indigenous wellness grounded in Indigenous culture. So we invite everyone to join. It's not just for people at the university or students. We also invite tribal leaders, community members, basically everyone that wants to attend events are welcome to. So with this, we have a variety of events that we intentionally plan. We have talks, workshops, readings with authors such as Angeline Bully, the Firekeeper's Daughter, author. We had her as a guest last year in person. We do events with authors like Angeline, as well as events for youth. It's pretty varied. We also have lunchtime mentoring with the students at the U of A and the guests that we bring in. We also center Indigenous voices and look at global perspectives as well. So it's not just Indigenous voices in the U.S. or Canada. We try to bring in a wide variety to get other perspectives. And we've also surveyed our participants to see what they want to see, what they want more of, and we've incorporated the feedback, such as a lot of participants wanted more on Indigenous foods, Indigenous food sovereignty. So we have definitely been incorporating feedback from participants.
And why and when did you start IndigiWellbeing?
So we started this in August of 2021, but I had been conceptualizing it prior to this. We're currently in our second year of the program, and it was started due to hearing how much mental well-being was being affected during the pandemic from basically everyone. I heard this from students, staff, community members, but mainly a lot of students were saying how much the pandemic was affecting their mental well-being. So I decided to try to create a program grounded in Indigenous culture to decrease stress, increase resilience, and kind of be a place and a source for wellness tools for everyone as well.
And how has IndigiWellbeing grown?
So we've grown, pretty sizably over the last since inception in August of 2021. Right now, we've seen, for total people that we've tried to reach out through our email listservs, through our Facebook, through our Instagram, we've seen that we've had over 1,300 different people register for our events over the past year, and we've had 743 unique individuals register. And we are a university. We are based out of university, so we do try to gear some of our programming towards university and faculty here at Arizona. And so we've seen that over 50% of our program is university staff and students. We also have seen about 40% people coming from the community members around Tucson, Arizona, and then all of our programming is open to everybody. As Dr. Cordova-Marks said, we do emphasize Indigenous people promoting their work, promoting things, and we see that we see a response in that in our attendance, where we have over 60% of our people who attend identify as Indigenous. And I think right now we've seen a large amount of growth since our first few events, which we saw, to now, to where we average a little bit over. We average about 70 or 80 registrations per event now. So it's really, we're getting a large growth there. And then the other thing that I just want to say about as far as trying to see our growth is since this January of 2022, we've been trying to record all of our events to make sure that people who were interested and weren't able to attend the webinars in person, because sometimes events come up, we always publish them to our YouTube channel as well. So we're seeing growth on that side as well from people who aren't able to attend in person, but still want to hear from our wonderful guests that we bring on.
And is this program, or you mentioned that this program isn't only for U of A students?
Yes, it's open to everyone, and it was intentionally made this way to include everyone, academia, community members, tribal leaders throughout the country, and internationally. We have some guests from Australia periodically, so we do tend to get some attendees from Australia, Canada, and other places around the world. So it's really great to see the Indigenous community worldwide.
And if I can just add to that, part of my efforts to try and reach out is I do try to reach out to as many local community groups in the Tucson area as I can. So we try to reach out to Honani Community College. I try to share all of our events with them. I try to share our events with Tucson Indian Center, Pima Community College, as many different indigenous programs at the University of Arizona as possible. And I've also tried reaching out to different organizations out in Phoenix area, as well as Flagstaff. So we do try to make sure that our programming, is able to reach whoever might be interested in the wonderful people that we bring in.
And how did COVID impact your work?
At first, when starting out the program, everything was 100% virtual Zoom. Any materials that participants would need, or for our storytelling events, when we would have authors read on Zoom and talk about their books, we would mail those out prior. So everything was very virtual for quite a while. And then once we started having in-person events, as public health people, we were definitely aware of the guidelines and ways to keep people healthy. So for in-person events, we would have these outdoors with masks, hand sanitizer available. At a couple of our first events back in person, everyone had to wear a mask even when outdoors, KN95s, just to make sure that everyone was protected. And since then, we've been trying to make everything hybrid events. And this is also intentional as well, to allow as many people to attend as possible, to allow those that are differently abled to attend, those that have immune or other health issues to be able to attend via Zoom. And we're trying to keep all of our events hybrid if possible, even those that are kind of a little bit more geared towards being in person. We would definitely like to keep all of our events hybrid. We see a lot of other programming, even in academia, conferences are moving towards being in person. And I think one of the lessons that we could learn from COVID is to make things more accessible, keep things hybrid, to allow those that might have health issues to attend.
Oh, yes, definitely. And can you let us know what direction is IndigiWellbeing headed in?
As a program that needs funding to bring in our guests, do our lunchtime mentoring with students, and to provide materials, funding will always impact how we move forward. Right now we do have funding from our College of Public Health, which is awesome. So the college is definitely supportive of the program. I'd say that we would like to continue to offer events and to add events for the summer potentially, so that it can be a year-round program, not just during the academic year. And to continue again to make our events hybrid events, to allow everyone to attend. And I would like to see more activities specifically aimed for the youth.
I think one of the things that I've noticed, because I am the person that runs the in-person portions of our events, is that when we have our events in person at the University of Arizona's Native American Student Affairs building, we still see a lot of the different type of people. We reach more undergrads, and so I like that aspect. I like having the smaller community events to really just have a conversation and do something, do something entertaining. So, for example, we had at our last one of our Native American Heritage Month events, we had Jessica Bruden, a First Nations yoga instructor, come here, and so I ran a in-person session at NASA, where we had a bunch of undergrads come here, and we all did yoga together, and it was a really fun time, and they really appreciated it. And so there was a sense that we'd like to see more types of those smaller in-person events too, while we also do our larger speaker presentations as well.
And speaking of where you guys like to be headed to, what programs and activities do you have planned, or upcoming plans do you have for IndigiWellbeing?
Yeah, so we have our annual MMIP run, Murdered Missing Indigenous Peoples run, coming up in May, and also a seminar that focuses on looking at it through a global perspective. We partner with local organizations such as Honor Collective, as well as other university departments for the MMIP run. So I'm definitely looking forward to that.
So we have 2 events coming up at the middle of December that we are very excited about. So on December 20th, we are going to be having the artist Sean Bale, who works with Marvel, and he will be doing a webinar talking about his journey as an artist, how he went from working in his stuff to now working at Marvel and a variety of Native American superhero comics. So he'll give a talk on, his journey, as well as showing us how to create a Native superhero. And then on December 21st, we will be having Tracy Sorrell do a presentation on her book, Powwow Day. So for both of those events, for, families and people who register, we're going to be trying to mail out, materials for, people to follow along, whether it's, drawing, coloring books and things for the artist event, or the book Powwow Day, as well as some hot cocoa for families who want to read along with, Tracy Sorrell at our event. And those events will be posted in the coming days to our Instagram and Facebook channels, as well as being sent on our listserv. And we'll start seeing, collecting interest for that soon.
We're also hoping to bring in Dr. Rodney Herring to conduct a lacrosse workshop. He's from the Seneca Nation, which, as we all know, or now we know, actually invented lacrosse. So we're hoping to bring him in to discuss how you actually play the game, as well as creating your own lacrosse stick.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. It sounds like you guys have a lot of exciting events planned. But can you guys let us know, how can our listeners learn more about IndigiWellbeing, and who can they contact for further questions?
They can email us at IndigiWellbeing@gmail.com. Is that correct, Billy? I never email ourselves.
Yes.
So they can contact us if they want to collaborate on events. We're always looking for sponsors, anybody that wants to collaborate or donate items for raffles. And anyone that just wants to attend the events is definitely always welcome. So they can find us on all of our social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube.
Please reach out with any questions to IndigiWellbeing@gmail.com, and follow us on our social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. All of them are IndigiWellbeing, and you can message us on there, and we will get right back to you.
Well, I would like to thank you both, Dr. Cordova-Marks and William, for taking time out to talk to us today to tell us more about your amazing program, IndigiWellbeing.
Thank you so much. It's been an honor to be on your program, and we greatly appreciate the support.
Yes, thank you so much.
Up next, Lanasha chats with Alisha Hubbell, owner of Loveabell Studio. Support for KRDP 90.7 FM comes in part from Native Health, with 2 locations in Phoenix: 4041 North Central Avenue, Building C, near the corner of Central Avenue and Indian School Road, and at 2423 West Dunlap Avenue. Native Health is also located in Mesa at 777 West Southern Avenue, near the corner of Southern and Extension Roads. Our friendly family health advocates can help you enroll, renew, or update your access information. This can be done in person, on the phone, or via Zoom, days, nights, or weekends. It's fast, easy, and can make a difference in keeping your health care coverage. For more information, call 602-279-5262.
Welcome back to Native Talk Arizona, presented by Native Health and KRDP 90.7 FM. I'm host Alisha Pawadi. On the phone with me is Alisha Hubbell, owner of Loveabell Studio, providing embroidery, beads, and everything else in between. Hello, Alisha. It's an honor to have you on our show.
Hi, Alisha. Thank you for having me.
So let's start things off with an introduction to yourself and your story.
Alisha Hubbell Yinisha, the best vision is Nishle. Twistofni Bashishchin, Hanalafni Dashache, Sitna Jenny Dashanele. Hi, my name is Alisha Hubbell. I am of the Black Sheep clan. I'm born for the Big Water clan. My maternal grandfather is one who walks around, and my paternal grandfather is Black Sheep Wood People. I'm from Lupton, Arizona, on the Navajo Reservation. My mother's family is from Lupton. My father's family is from Navajo Station. And I currently live in Chicago, Illinois, with my partner and our 2 cats.
Oh, awesome. It's a pleasure to have you on our show today. Can you let us know, tell us more about your company, Loveabell?
So Loveabell Studio is a handmade shop that explores material upcycling with multidisciplinary craft. My handmade work includes gifts for the home, your family, your friends, or like a little treat for yourself. I do it in my off time, like on nights and weekends from my full-time job. It's a big stress reliever for me, like coming off of my 8-hour workday, and creating handmade items allows me to get back to my center and like recharge.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. I love how you found a passion to do something that is also a stress reliever.
Yeah, it's really important because like, like out of the pandemic, like we had to find these like new things or reach back to our older things, like had to find like new ways to exercise in the winter.
Oh yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Can you let us know why and when did you start Loveabell?
So growing up, I grew up in a household where it was very creative and accepting of that creativity. My mom she is a quilter, and she's always like encouraged me to be creative. So growing up, I tried knitting, crocheting, beading, quilting with her, drawing. And as I like started to go to college in the Valley, like I had a love for stationery. I had to find like new ways to like stay connected with like my families on the reservation or friends who were at different schools. So the shop was created to kind of like create my own stationery. It started with embroidered postcards. So the big idea was to embroider these postcards onto brown paper bags I would collect at the grocery stores. So that's kind of how it all started.
Can you tell us more about what kind of products you create and how do you incorporate your Indigenous heritage into these products?
So right now, today, I make bookmarks, mugs, cups, coasters, keychains, beadwork, pins, stationery, gift tags. A lot of these paper products are still upcycling from brown paper bags. And I'm incorporating my Indigenous heritage by implementing the Navajo language onto these blank cards. Recently, I just made faux stamps that are Navajo inspired. So, like, I have places like Window Rock, Monument Valley, little fake stamps that are from Yatahe or Window Rock. And the past couple of years, I've taught myself how to do beadwork. So that was really fun to kind of like learn that style of artwork. And my favorite would probably be the jewelry making. It's really fun.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. And did the COVID impact your business?
I would say my goal for like Loveabell Studio has always been for people to send letters and staying connected with their family and friends. And during the pandemic, like I missed my home a lot, my family a lot, because like I do live here in Chicago. And it kind of like taught me how to reevaluate what type of stationery I was providing for my customers. I really wanted to incorporate the Navajo language into my stationery, and I have products that are made into like stickers and cards. And I have family that live in Maryland, Texas, Colorado, and it's really hard for a person living off of the reservation to stay connected with like your homeland or making a phone call in a different time zone. So, you know, I would find myself like being homesick during this pandemic because like I just really wanted to go home and see my family, but like that kind of prevented me. So I think with the pandemic, like it was really important for me to create Navajo stationery because like this year I've received orders from Colorado, Utah, Washington, Texas, Oregon, California, New Mexico. And these orders have been really special to me because these people are ordering the Navajo stationery, and I think it's important for people to be connected to the reservation when they're living off of it. So receiving like these orders is like really special, and it warms my heart when I have an order outside of for people who are living in different places in the United States.
And do you, for your products, do you hand make all of them, or are there specific or special tools that you use to create any of your products?
I usually hand make all of it. Like for my bookmarks, I'll laminate some of the items if I feel it needs to be protected. My mugs and cups, like I use my Cricut machine. It does like it cuts out my designs for vinyl. So that vinyl is an application I put onto the cups that allow me to put etch on top, and then it'll like kind of stay permanent. And the stationery is like paper. I'll cut down the paper bags with like X-Acto blades or like rulers. So I have a bunch of different like tools for those types of crafts.
And how long is the process when creating your different crafts?
It kind of depends. Like if I have to make bookmarks, I'll like, those are usually made from like scrap pieces of paper. So like I try to use every piece of paper for those, and like I'm usually like sitting in front of the TV while I'm cutting these out. The cups are usually harder for me to make because like I have to use my Cricut machine, and that requires my computer, the machine plugged in, and removing this vinyl to place on the glassware.
And do you have any advice for anybody who maybe wanted to tune into their creative side? What would you suggest?
Well, usually when I start like a new design, it's usually with a sketch. So I have a notebook where I'm either jotting down like ideas that I have for like cards, or like what I want to do for like the future. I'll sit down weekly to kind of like write it down, mark it off my list. If I'm starting like a new idea, then I'll kind of like sketch it out to kind of see how I'm going to get from point A to B. And, you know, like, I think the most fun part of being like a designer or a crafter or just like learning how to do stuff is like trial and error. I think that's like the best part because like you're learning about this material, you're learning like how the tools work, and you're learning about yourself and how you want it to look. And that would be my advice for anyone who's starting out. Researching your tools, what you need. I know for the bookmarks, like I had a lot of trial and error with the eyelet pins. Like there's different sizes for those, and yeah, it's really interesting to see like what kind of style you're going for and how to start it.
And are there any resources that you've used that others could use as well that may be starting out? Like, do you search different techniques on YouTube or like find videos to kind of help you understand how to use specific tools or how to make a specific item that you're trying to create?
So when I start like a new craft, like I'll look on Pinterest, YouTube. A really good resource is TikTok. I know they're like short videos, but like for the Cricut machine, like there's like a lot of people who do tutorials on. I had an instance where I couldn't calibrate my Cricut machine to cut right, so there's a whole bunch of like resources on TikTok to kind of like show you how to like recalibrate your machine to your computer. So I think those are really handy. And then on Instagram, like I found like a good, like healthy, positive handmade community, and like just posting that onto your story, like someone's gonna read it or see it, and they'll be able to like answer your question for you, because that community is like really helpful on how I've been able to like grow and kind of like learn about other people too.
And would that be something you would want to bring to your platform, like doing little tutorial videos of specific items you create, or maybe just suggestions on like your social media, on your sites?
Yeah, I mean, this year, like I made a TikTok, which is kind of funny to say because I'm a millennial, so I feel like I kind of had to like lean into it a little, like, but you know, like I'm trying to like show like how I'm preparing an order, or how, you know, how I make like the products or the packaging for like my jewelry. Like I started to do that. And then I think for like longer videos, I do maybe want to start to do like YouTube tutorials.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. And what direction would you want Loveabell to head in?
I would like to do more workshops this coming year. In the past, I've hosted stationery workshops at the American Indian Center in Chicago. And with the pandemic, like I haven't been back since 2019. So I'd like to like give back to the community here this next coming year. So we'll probably be planning for more workshops there. And I'm also like looking in terms of providing more stationery products. So I'm looking to create weekly planners that you'll be able to use like during your workday, and kind of like help you organize your day. And those will be made from brown paper bags.
Alisha, can you let us know where our listeners can go to learn more information about Loveabell Studio and how they can contact you if they have further questions?
I'm available on Instagram at Loveabell Studio, LOVEABELLSTUDIO. So that's where I'm like most active. Sometimes I'll be on TikTok with my smaller videos, and then I'm also available on Etsy.
Well, I would like to thank you, Alisha, for taking time out to talk to us today to tell us more about your Loveabell Studio.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure.
Thank you for listening to Native Talk Arizona, presented by Native Health and 90.7 FM KRDP. Our executive producer is Susan Levy, sound engineer is Javier Quiroga, and our host is Lanasha Puadi. We hope you will tune in again next week. If you have any questions, please reach us at nativetalkaz@listen2krdp.com.